What is the plan?
No idea.
Are we gonna brew bucket of beer?
Bucket of beer.
Okay.
Never brewed a beer before. Emmett's gonna teach me how.
Okay.
Stuff.
See, I knew someone would come up with the plan.
I literally have no idea what anything does here.
You didn't go to Bojangles?
No, actually like 50 feet.
I've never been to Bojangles.
Are you serious?
I've never been.
Bojangles has the best.
What's up with the water? Are you modifying it at all?
No, we're just going straight from the tap into the kettle.
Perfect.
When it's at 152, we'll add the grains.
Okay. The heat is on.
The heat is on.
Some great content coming down here. This is all gonna make the cut right here.
Did you switch these hoses around? That's a rye. It's going to be kind of between a rye pale ale and a rye IPA. Probably more, not as hoppy, a little bit more character on the rye. It's a good summer drinker, 5.5%.
What kind of beer do you drink, Rachel?
It's an awkward question.
Wine?
Cider?
What are we doing?
Dude, you're running the show, I meant.
So, we're heating up water.
While this is heating, is there anything we can be doing?
Yes. So we need to weigh out some grains. All right. So these are the grains for the recipe. They're not crushed yet, so we'll need to crush them. This is the flake dry. This does not need to be crushed. What we'll need to crush it is just a bucket, a grain mill, and a drill.
Grinding some grains.
Emmet, who's gonna be the grinder?
Me.
You're gonna be the grinder?
Yeah.
Okay, I figured Emmet would do it. The grinder is what they called him back in college.
Okay.
They still do.
That's how you do it, folks.
I crush mine pretty fine. Traditionally, if you crush this fine, you'd get what they call stuck sparge. But since we have that basket, everything's in there. That's going to contain it, so it's not going to clog up your filter, your ball valve, any of that stuff. So we crushed our grains. The flake dry didn't get crushed. I haven't weighed it out yet. Yeah, we're just going to tear it out.
All right.
It's 13.75.
Okay.
Now it's magically 13.7.
Good enough for science, right?
Toss this into there.
All right. We got our mixture.
So we got our grains. What temp are we at?
We're at 152.
Oh, perfect. So basically, we're ready to mash in, as they call it. I like to call it adding grains to the water. Do you want to just turn the pump off?
Sure.
Take the lid off. It's going to be a little warm, but we got a nice silicone handle. And then when you add this, the only thing you really got to worry about is see how the heating element comes through there.
Yep.
And then see how the legs are
So you just
raised.
want to put the legs on top
Yeah,
of it.
it's pretty much just common sense. But
Use your brain.
if you want to add the grains in there,
All right. Here goes nothing.
Got a mash paddle around here somewhere.
yeah,
Is it?
and she's been
I
talking.
guess they're thinking, all right, I'm gonna stop talking.
Ooh,
You can kind of already
yeah.
smell it. It's perfect.
Smells pretty good.
Put the lid back on.
Turn the
Turn the pump back on. At this point, I like to open my cell phone and
Check Tinder.
check Tinder.
check Tinder, check Grinder.
Open up the clock, and we're just gonna set it for 60 minutes, and we're gonna mash for 60 minutes. Our set point's at 152, and it's just gonna maintain that temperature. Hang out for an hour, get your hop additions ready.
We're gonna do it for real this time.
What's 0.22 times 4?
9.9.
Is that 0.9? So we're just
It's 0.88.
today's short of this, or our tears off, because we need. Looks like our dealer's short of us.
Awkward.
Awkward is right. What we'll
There you
do
go.
is we'll keep the 0.2 for the
Getting some nice caramel consistency
Yeah.
going. That bad boy. You get lost in that. Fell in. So, what are we doing?
Well, you got your star saying here. 1 ounce does 5 gallons, so we're gonna do a little over ½ ounce. So you just pour it in. And we're just gonna pull this guy out. You can see the foaming. Mm-hmm. Some of that foam's gonna be left behind, and that's fine.
Take a little bird bath while I'm at it.
I always like to obviously sterilize the bung and then the airlock.
What is that called?
It's almost lunchtime.
Or should cook a bologna sandwich.
Ooh, fried bologna sandwiches does sound good. I had bologna sandwich last night for dinner though.
Really?
Yeah.
What's bologna made of?
Pig parts. All right.
Okay.
So our mash is done. What we're gonna do, we're gonna turn off the pump. You want to put those hooks in, actually. Yep.
Like this?
Exactly. And the nice thing, too, about smaller batches is it's fairly easy to lift that up. It doesn't weigh a whole lot. Mm-hmm. When you're getting into like 5-10 gallon batches with these, you literally have to have like a hoist, then you have to pull it up. And we'll just let this drain for a few minutes. And it drains pretty dry. So at this point, what I always do, turn my element back up. Usually what I do is I'll put it on manual mode, so you can just change that to 100. And that's going to be just full power for boil. So
Blasting it.
if it's too heavy of a boil, you can turn it down to like 98%, 70%, whatever you need. So.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Real nice.
Real nice.
And you just get the screen nice and wet.
Cool.
And then flip her down. And then you basically just look at a light. We should be, our estimated pre-boil gravity should be 1.043.
Pretty much right there.
I think we're pretty,
we're like right on the money.
I think we're pretty dead on. Alrighty. So we had our boil. What we're going to do now is add our little hop basket. And that just, so we're going to do our 60-minute hop addition. This goes in the beginning of the boil. And that will boil for 60 minutes. All right, we're coming up on our 40-minute timer.
All right.
And then I'm just going to...
Whirlflock is a tablet we're adding to the beer. It's going to be a little bit more clear after we add this. Is that right?
Pretty much, yeah. You're just adding it to the boil. And that'll make for a finished. We're down to our last 2 hop additions, which turned into 1 hop addition because our ounce was only 0.6 of an ounce. So let's just do half now. There's about 5 minutes left in the boil, and then we'll just put the other half in at flame out. The plate chiller, I always clean them out really well. But I always like to run boiling water through it as well. To work in, just gotta go to work out. You can just run your hose. Dunk it in? Yep, kick the pump on. Just let this run for the last few minutes. We'll add our last hop addition. Don't touch this either. I just burnt the shit out of my hand. Really? I mean, it's like immediately 100, 212 degrees. What time is it?
Hop time.
There you go.
Let's do it.
Last
batch. Hops.
Yep. And then we'll just do a little flame out addition here.
Flame out addition.
We'll get our cooling hoses hooked up, and then we'll start cooling this down and get the yeast in there.
All right, let's do it.
And here you can see about the foam we talked about earlier. That's perfectly fine.
Okay.
So I like to pitch Nottingham around like 64, 65 degrees. I like to do it on the lower end. We're a little bit lower than that, which is fine. We're around 60. Yeah, we're around 64. 65, so that's perfect.
Okay.
Just want to turn the pump off real quick on there. Just pop it into here, and if you want to turn it back on.
Alright.
But I always kind of like to keep an eye on it. It's dropping a little bit lower than I'd like, so I just open the valve a little bit more. Then you get good aeration when it's coming through the hose. Just you get some good aeration. You want to aerate. Mm-hmm. The wort before you add the yeast.
little spillover.
Yeah, you got a little foam. Basically, now we just need to add the yeast. We'll pitch the whole thing. It's probably a little bit over pitching.
Pitching that yeast. Pitching it in. Plug in the hole.
Plug in the
Throw
hole.
it in.
The airlock, and that just pushes in there. We will find a lid. There's a little white cap that goes on there, and it might have fallen out when I was cleaning it, so she looks like a good one. So natural.
So what are we doing?
Seeing if
We're taking a gravity reading. That's what we're doing. Our post-boil gravity reading.
We're shooting for 1054. I think we're at 1052, 1053. It'll make beer. It'll be good.
It will make the beer.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh.